Hello everyone, this is Money Mom. Welcome to the channel. Today, I want to give you our 25 best grocery saving tips that keeps our family lower than what our actual grocery budget is. Let's get into it. Our grocery budget for a family of 3 is $500 a month. That includes all food. We do not go out to eat, very rare I should say, and we pack all of our lunches, and this includes feeding other people. I do have company over a lot, and so this includes all of that. We have not raised our grocery budget. Now, to some people think that's a lot of money. Some people think it's not that much money. I can tell you it's not a lot of money, and I do have to get creative with it. So I feel that we're doing good. We haven't raised our grocery budget in a while, and it is doable with very careful planning. But we still feel like we have an abundance of food here. So I'm going to go over all 25 tips. There's maybe some overlap. The first one is we simply go less often. I used to, whenever I would run out of something, I would send Al to the store. I just go once a week. Now, I know to save more money, some people go once a month or once every 2 weeks. I do enjoy going once a week, and there's always something that we do run out of. And so once a week is best for us. Generally, we go on Sundays. Okay, number 2, this biggest thing, I take some kind of calculator, okay, with us, and we make sure to add up everything. Whenever I don't take a calculator, it's a surprise when I get to the checkout. Number 3, I always put an item back at the end. There's always something I can put back, and that saves me about $40 a month doing that. And I may say, hey, is there something I really don't need? Do I have something like it at home? And that saves a lot. Number 4, we're buying less snack foods. What we're trying to do is eat more at meals so we don't snack as much. Not buying as many snack foods or minimal snack foods saves tons of money. Number 5, I'm making pretty simple recipes. I'm not making something with 10 ingredients. I use 5 ingredients or less, 4 ingredients or less, or something where I already have the ingredients and spices at home. That saves a lot. Another thing, number 6, I do buy some loss leaders, but I'm starting to get to know what's really a loss leader. If it's something our family eats, okay? And which brings me to number 7. I'm very careful about what I buy, even if it is discounted at the lowest price in the world. And I used to do this, especially with meat. I would buy types of meat that my family really didn't eat, and I'd end up donating it. Not that there's anything wrong with donating. It's great to bless others, but why would I buy chicken legs for really dirt cheap 29 cents a pound, even though that's a fantastic price, if people really don't eat it? So if you want to get something on sale, make sure it's going to get eaten, because if you're wasting food and you think you're going to save money, you end up wasting it. You don't do anyone any good unless you can donate to someone. Okay, another thing I do that really helps is, and I have almost all of these filled in the house, we portion our food in here, breakfasts and also dinners. I don't really portion out lunches. I have stuff to make lunch, but we do our breakfasts and dinners and portion them in containers. And I have usually breakfast on one shelf, dinners on the other shelf, and I put them in the front and the back. That really helps out. That way we're not eating a massive amount. Okay, another thing, I don't buy bagged produce because a lot of it is flavorless. As a matter of fact, I only buy produce in season. We buy frozen. For example, I just bought these and they taste really good. Blueberries and pineapple. I also have veggies, but I just wanted to show you. Really good. Got these at Aldi, and you can do all sorts of things. For example, some people love cottage cheese. You could kind of heat up the blueberries and the pineapple and smash them and then put them on top of cottage cheese and eat it. It's actually really good. You get some fruit and you get some protein. Just thought I would mention that. Okay, another thing is I have a menu that I put up. I said capsule menu, but I'm working on a capsule menu of just having 10 dinners that I always have ingredients on hand, because that's what's really important, is to make sure you've got the ingredients for your family's 10 favorite frugal meals. But I have a menu and I have tons of choices of dinners, breakfasts, desserts, side dishes, and all of that. So that really helps out a lot. Another thing is if I have a great big list that week and I think I'm going to go over budget, I look at my list again and say, hey, is there something I can wait on? 9 times out of 10, I can move some of that stuff to the next week. That really helps. Another thing I do, I don't even know what number I'm, so I'm just going to keep going. We chop our own food. As a matter of fact, I used to really bother me to chop my own onion, but what I do now is I found a way to chop an onion where I don't cry from it. I basically take it outside and do it outdoors, and I take the center out where all the gases of the onion are and take that core out and then kind of let it dry outside for a little bit. And then, I know that sounds weird, but that's how I'm able to chop an onion. So I chop our vegetables at home rather than buying them pre-chopped. Also do the same thing with fruit. Another thing too is I use substitutions for spices. You know, a lot of times I used to buy a spice and I'd use it once or twice for a recipe. I no longer do that. I may even omit certain things or substitute other ingredients. And, you know, I do follow the recipe, but I do doctor it up a little bit, kind of like my mother did, and doing that will save you a lot of money. A lot of people think, I have to make this recipe exactly like it says. You can substitute things, and many times it's just as good. And so I do that. All sorts of information on YouTube about that. Okay, another thing I'm doing that's saving me money is before, I used to buy too many groceries. And before going out and buying a whole bunch of more groceries on whatever item it is, I finish everything we have first. So if I think, oh, we need more pudding, or oh, we need more applesauce, or oh, we need more yogurt, we finish all that we have at home first before I buy more. That way I don't have something go bad, and I make sure we're using everything we have. Because like I've always said, if you have something hidden away in the pantry or down maybe in your refrigerator behind something, out of sight, out of mind. So I make sure to do that. Also, I'm shopping less stores. I used to shop multiple stores, and I was spending a lot of money doing that. Another thing, I shop primarily Aldi. Aldi is known as having the least expensive groceries if you buy just basic items, and it's partly because they have less choices. Next, and I learned this from my daughter's boyfriend. He works at a place where he has seen people make their little snacks that they sell in little small containers like this. Like they might put a little things of cheese, a little thing of pretzel, a little thing of hummus, and they'll put together and make a snack pack, and they charge like $5. Well, you could make these yourself for probably $1 a piece. So we just have to buy all the stuff, and we could make our own little snack packs ourselves rather than buying convenience foods. That will save money. Another thing is I'm using less meat. I used to use 2 pounds of meat in chili and spaghetti and things like that. Now I use 1. Some people I know only use a half of 1 and then also put beans. That's another thing to do. Another way I'm saving money is always having things for sandwiches. Just simply peanut butter and jelly. Have eggs for a fried egg sandwich. Have cheese for a grilled cheese sandwich. Have lunch meat. And this way, if you don't want to heat up the house, you're running low on some of your pre-made meals that you made up, you know what? A sandwich is a very inexpensive type of meal you could have. You could have fruit with it. You can make a smoothie with it with this frozen fruit. I mean, you can do so many really frugal recipes. You don't have to have a fancy... I used to think growing up we had what I call a 4-course meal. You'd have a meat, a veggie, some kind of potato on the side, and then you'd have like a little fruit cocktail or applesauce, or in Minnesota, some kind of jello salad, a bread. We don't have to get that fancy. You could have a bowl of cereal for dinner if you wanted to. Another thing I'm doing is buying less drink items. I do occasionally buy the carbonated waters, or occasionally I might buy some, you know, pop or something, but not that often. That saves a lot of money doing that. Another big thing is I have a budget of $500. Now, unless there was some kind of emergency, I don't care what kind of sale it is, I don't go over that budget. That's what I have. And so I stick to the budget. So that's another thing. And if I have issues with going over it, I just start putting stuff back and we make it work. Okay, another big thing that I do is I play the this or that game. If there's 2 things I really want that are kind of yummy that are not a need, is I'll say I get this or I get that. I can't have both. So if there's 2 things I want, I get a choice between both of them, either one of them. And that saves quite a bit of money doing that. Another thing is I used to buy every single seasonal thing that they had, all sorts of, you know, pumpkin spice or peppermint flavored things. I would buy every seasonal thing. I only pick out a couple seasonal items. and that's it. And that keeps the budget a lot lower. Well, plus the prices on those things have gone up. I mean, if you pick out a $5 item and a $6 item and another $5 item, that's what I call death by a thousand cuts. You know, if you don't want to spend more than $120 that week on groceries, you know, 5, 6 of those items takes up almost half your grocery bill right there. That's why I really minimize that. Okay, another thing that I've been doing is I have been just using just cash. So once I bring my cash with me, I'm not allowed to use credit card. Once my cash is, you know, done, and if I think that I go over, I have to put something back. I bring cash, I figure out how much I'm going to owe before getting to the register. That helps out a lot. So another big thing that I do, and this is one more item or one last thing that I do, is if there's something that I haven't used yet that's a pantry item, say it's potatoes or something that I haven't made yet, is what I'll do is I will go ahead and put it out on the counter to remind me to use it. Also on my menu that I have, if there's something that it's been on the menu for a while and I haven't made it yet and I have the ingredients, I'll highlight it with a marker and I'll circle it and I'll put a bunch of stars by it. That way I know this week I've got to make that item. So I know that's a lot of things that I'm doing. Another thing I've been doing, one last little thing, is whenever I make stuff, I make double and triple batches of it because I'm already cooking it up. I might as well make more. And what I do is I put these things in the freezer. I made some homemade cookies and I instead of us eating them all, I put them in containers and put them in the freezer. I can gift these. I can save them for next time. It really minimizes the work you do. So today I made homemade pizza from scratch, and what I did is I made 2 batches of it. I also made some kind of lasagna hot dish. I made 2 batches. I made pumpkin bread. I made 2 loaves. So that will really save you. These are just my very top ideas. I know some I've shared, but utilizing all of this has really kept my budget lower than the Thrifty plan. The Thrifty plan for a family of 3 right now in 2024, according to my research, is $678 for groceries, and that's per month. Our family spends $500 or less. So I'm feeling really good about that. I want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your top grocery saving tips? I know these last 2 videos have gone longer than 5, but I hope that there's something from this video today that you can take away and that has been helpful to you. That's all I have to say for now. I love you, I appreciate you, and I sure hope to see you on tomorrow morning's video. Bye-bye now.